what's a good place to be at? Well, it's being an investor and being responsible while investing. And ESG Mutual Funds gives you the chance to do that. While most might not have heard of the concept of ESG mutual funds, but quite recently it has become a buzzword in the financial markets. In the year 2020 alone, 6 new ESG mutual funds was launched in India, and this alone should give you or tell you a lot about the category's popularity. Although a relatively new concept in India, but in the past few years, the socially responsible investing has become a trend and has gained a lot of attention globally. To give you the facts, ESG fund flows has increased from $27.6 billion in 2016 to $154.1 billion in 2019. Now, due to this paradigm shift in investment strategy, most of the investors today are looking for companies that give high relevance to environment, social and governance factors in doing business. With that being said, in today's video, we are going to look at what is ESG theme, how does it work, and whether you should consider investing in it or not. Welcome to IndianMoney.com. I'm Namita Pandey. Let's get started. So let's begin by understanding what is ESG. Now, ESG investing is equivalent to sustainable investing, wherein you invest in those companies that have a sustainable and holistic approach in business. Now, let's understand the each factors of E, S and G. So first is E, which stands for environment. So when it comes to environment, here the company focuses on the green and eco-friendly landscape. Now this factor takes into consideration the company's focus on water and energy conservation, effective waste disposal process and steps to reducing carbon emission, etc. So the next one is social. Here the social factor considers the company's role in overseeing the employees' welfare as well as the society at large. Now to be socially compliant, the company will give most importance to aspects such as gender equality and regular contribution towards the social cause. And lastly, G. So at the heart of the G or the governance is the corporate governance issue, which takes into account the aspects such as compliance with regulatory bodies, grievance resolution, ethical conduct, etc. Now this gets us to the next question, which is what are ESG funds? Now any organization who are performing well today and hopes to maintain this development in the future too will have to be ESG compliant. Now ESG funds are those funds whose asset allocation mostly includes the shares and bonds of the companies based on the evaluations of factors like environmental, social and governance. Now what's an ESG score and how is it calculated? Well, the level of compliance to ESG standards can be determined by ESG score that is assigned to the companies by research organizations such as MSCI, Morningstar, etc. Now, these scores determine the ESG compliance of companies and thereby are dynamic in nature. So, with the change in regulations, standard norms, and the company's own initiatives, these scores keep changing. Let me tell you that having an ESG score is not quite mandatory, but it is definitely good to have metric for any of the organizations. The research organization here calculate these scores or assign these scores to companies and mutual funds based on their own assessment and methodology. However, when deciding which ESG fund that you need to invest in, these scores will definitely help you and give you an idea as to which funds or what funds are doing great and why are they rated high and why is it so. Next, how and where does ESG funds invest? Well, an ESG mutual funds are a thematic mutual funds that invest in socially responsible companies and wherein the entire investment process includes the evaluation of factors such as the company's environmental, social and governance practices. So basically an ESG funds invest in those companies or organizations that are ESG compliant and aim at sustainable growth. So based on the fund's investment strategy, here they can invest across any of the market capitalizations and or sometimes they can invest in any of the overseas stocks that are complied with the ESG framework. Now this gets us to the next question, should you invest in ESG funds? So well, the ESG theme is slightly different from many other themes that are way forward for most of the companies who want to target sustainable growth. There are studies that have shown that companies with higher ESG scores experience lower cost of capital when compared to companies with lower ESG scores. This means a better profit and therefore a better returns for investors. However, there is no enough data of the fund performance so that you can understand what is the risk and volatility that you might experience. So you cannot actually decide whether these funds actually go in line with your risk profile or not. Also, let me tell you that the demand and growth of the ESG funds in Asia and specifically in India is quite overwhelming and currently is at 32%. So if you are looking to invest in those companies who are sustainable and are conscious about the environment, then you should definitely go ahead and invest in ESG funds. On the other hand, you can wait for some more years and look at the long-term performance of the ESG funds and then invest in such funds. Also, if you're someone who wants to know or learn more about such financial content or agriculture or business, then do download the Financial Freedom app right away. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified for our next video. Thank you for watching IndianMoney.com. Get wise and break free.